Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Cowboys Fan Show. This segment here is brought to you by Vinny's Barber Shop. Just right down the road on 7th and Mountain. Go over there, check them out, and rock the straight edge. Shout out again to Vinny's Barber Shop. Now, Scott, it's now time to get into some questions from our social media pages. You can send those in to us, ladies and gentlemen, at our Facebook page. We're at the Cowboys Fan Show. Same thing on Twitter, at Cowboys Fan Show. Even drop some questions, if you'd like, in our YouTube comments. I know we've been getting a lot of feedback there on our YouTube channel, so thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Send those questions in using the hashtag CowboysFS. That's CowboysFS for Cowboys Fan Show. Simple enough, right?
Yeah, simple enough. Hit us up, guys. We want to know what you think.
So let's get into our very first question here, Scott. So Dallas, 2-2 so far this season. A few lackluster performances. I'd say about 3 of them. You know, Dallas really hasn't looked great since that Week 1 showdown against New York. So with all that being said, a lot of the Dallas Cowboy fans were expecting tremendous amounts of success, and, you know, we're not getting that. We're 2-2. We're at 500 a quarter way through the season. We're seeing a lot of people writing off Dak Prescott, saying, you know, he's just a system quarterback. He's not a franchise quarterback. Why are fans writing Dak off so early? And what side are you on?
Well, to be completely honest with you, I mean, that's kind of a tough one. And I understand what everybody's kind of going through right now, because everybody had such high expectations for not only Dak, but this young team. So it's disappointing. It's disappointing to be 2-2, especially when I believe in the last week we beat ourselves and we just got stomped out by Denver. So there's been some tough losses to swallow this season. Where am I at? I'm not writing Dak off right now. Not absolutely. Do I think he's a system quarterback right now? Yes, because he's a young quarterback. And the guy's a 4th-round draft pick. He's exceeded all expectations so far. We shouldn't be disappointed by this guy. I mean, you guys forgot. I mean, you guys remember Matt Castle, Kellen Moore? You know, I mean, that was a horrible. I had to drag myself in here to do this show sometimes. So I'm happy to have Dak. I think we got a bright future. I think he's only going to get better. He's one of the hardest working quarterbacks in football right now. And he knows. He knows. So I'm impressed by his post-game talk about, hey, I got to play better. I got to get better. It's just that he's not the gunslinger that we were used to in number 9 back there, being able to spread the field and everything. However, I mean, he's also, I mean, when number 9 was back there, everyone's saying the same thing. Oh, the interceptions, can't win a playoff game, blah, blah, blah. You know, and I'm not knocking Rome. Everybody knows how much I love that guy. And do I miss him? Absolutely. But I love Dak. He's the now.
Yeah.
He's going to get better. There's also the offensive lines getting stuffed. You know, this defense has had some coverage issues. We do get Anthony Hitchens back, who's a better coverage linebacker this week. I think that's going to help. I mean, with Sean Lee out, I mean, muff punt doesn't happen in that game, and everybody's stoked because we're 3-1 right now. And we're talking about what a great first half we had. Right.
Yeah. And you know, if that muff punt, and you know, I hate playing the what if game, how that goes. I think Dallas dominates that game if they're able to just finish it out. But my thoughts on Dak Prescott are, this is a 4th-round draft pick. You know, he was a 4th-round draft pick. He was sort of thrust into the starting quarterback position last year, kind of by default. You know, as you said, Kellen Moore and all that stuff. We know how he got hurt, all that. So Dak Prescott has played 21 career NFL games.
Yeah.
You know,
yes. Yeah.
He's barely a quarter way into his 2nd season in the NFL here. And it's not time to panic. No. You know, just have a little bit of patience. He's a young kid. He's in his early 20s. So, you know, you just think about it. You know, put yourself in the kid's shoes. I think he's going to be just fine going forward.
One more thing to think about is we're still paying a bunch of Romo money this year.
Right.
A bunch of Romo money, guys. So, I mean, you remember a couple of years ago when Seattle was just killing it because Russell Wilson's playing on a rookie contract? Help is on the way. Okay, I mean, David Irving's also coming back this week. I mean, DeMontre Moore actually has been looking pretty good. So we've got some help coming back. Anthony Hitchens is coming back. Sean Lee is coming back. Not only that, by next year, we're going to have some huge dollars to throw at possibly this defense or maybe even, you know, another receiver, a playmaker who doesn't run off the ball. Yeah, things are looking bright. I mean, this was a decision to go with Dak based on not even just this season, but future seasons. And we got another, 2 years after this one, a rookie contract with Dak, and that's going to be huge.
Yeah, so moving along now to the other guy in the backfield for the Dallas Cowboys, Ezekiel Elliott. We've heard all about the off-the-field issues, the upcoming legal battle with the NFL. With all that being said, Scott, do you think the off-the-field issues are having an impact on Zeke Elliott and his performance? Now, before you answer that, I want to give you some numbers here. He's only got 173 rushing yards in his past 3 games combined, and that's an average of just 57.6 yards per game. To this point, he's only got 2 rushing touchdowns, and at the same point last year, he had 4 rushing touchdowns. When, if you remember the rhetoric last year early in the season, we were thinking that Zeke started slow.
Yeah, and he did start slow because he had to get acclimated to the pace of the game. I mean, it's just different from college. Do I think that? No, not unless the offensive line is staying up all night working on his defense, because they're looking tired out there sometimes. This is difficult. La'el Collins got kicked out to the right, and he's had to go against some phenomenal playmakers so far. Jonathan Cooper started this last week. Last year, you guys remember we were pulling guards, going to the outside. We're not really doing that this year because there's not as much we can do because these coaches aren't as comfortable with this line as they were with last year's line. I don't think that there's any lack of talent, and I'm not trying to say that there's a regression by Zach Martin, Travis Frederick, Tyrone Smith. I still think that these guys are all Pro Bowl caliber. They're getting schemed against. Defensive coaches are coming at these guys, and we're not really able to adjust to that because, we don't have the same squad that we had last year. Chaz Green had a health issue this last week, so Jonathan Cooper gets his first start with us. You saw that sack. La'el Collins has given up a sack. He's getting comfortable with that. I think that he's a fantastic tackle. I think he's going to get better as well. But I don't think that legal issues are the problem here. No.
No underlying factors. So let's move right along now to our third and final question. Is Jason Garrett on the hot seat this season? Now, again, before you answer, let me throw you some numbers here. Jason Garrett, in his 7 1/4 seasons as a Dallas Cowboys head coach, he's won 60 games and lost 48. That's just winning 55% of all of his games, and he's 1-2 in the postseason. At what point do you hold the head coach accountable, Scott, for a lack of postseason success?
He's got to work with the talent that he's got. In my honest opinion, Jason Garrett's made this team better every single year.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that. With the exception of this year, clearly we were a better team last year than we were this year. Dak had Romo on the sideline. That was like having a second coach. We had to shuffle around the offensive line, a lot of key losses in the secondary, some injury issues and some suspension issues already this early in the season. Guys, when you think about it, just the suspensions alone and the legal issues and everything that happened through this first quarter of the season, that's got to weigh on the team a little bit. So I think we're going to get better? I think we're going to get better this season. I don't think he's on the hot seat at all. I think he's a phenomenal coach. I think it would be a mistake. I think as far as the play calling is concerned, that's Scott Linehan's job.
Yeah, and so real quick before we go to break, one-word answer. If Dallas goes 500 or worse, does he get fired?
Oh, man, I hope not. If we go 500 or worse, it's because it's something crazy. I'll put money. I guarantee everybody right now, we're going to win at least 8 games this year. I'm going to say that. I'm going to stand with 500. Garrett. That's 500.
That's 500.
That's 500, but not worse, okay? I think that we're going to pull that off at least minimum with a more difficult schedule, with an incredibly young team, and with a shuffled line, So I don't think so. I think he's got one more shot after that. I don't think that you just chuck the guy, Schottenheimer style, just for one bad season when you're trying to grow as a young team. No.
Yeah, so there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to everybody who sent us in questions to these to our social media pages. Again, send those in using the hashtag CowboysFS, CowboysFS for Cowboys Fan Show. We'll be right back to have a look around the NFC East. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go, Cowboys!